closing bell on Thursday, December the 18th, with a little bit less than 2 minutes to go. And here we go. The algo nerd is going to be satisfied, as prior to Triple Witching OPEX Friday tomorrow, we are heading right down to that. An algo nerd would be so thrilled to see this close right on the 50-day moving average. Right there, 67.65 over here on the SPX, after the tremendous gap up that took place overnight. Because, why? Well, a lot of people are going to say it was because of Micron's earnings, but we all know the answer as to why. And here you go. We have about a minute left to go. Closing fractionally above 67.65. Can we do it? Can we do it? Because, as you saw over there, today we were looking for that plus 1% move. We talked about it yesterday. It was all discussed yesterday. And then we were talking about the same risk trade that we had yesterday for today. December 18th, 67.60, 67.65, bullish put credit spread. Was getting $3 credit. Today, as you can see, and there's the closing bell. There's the closing bell. The safer risk has already dropped to 67.20, 67.25, down to $1.75, which those were $2 yesterday. And here, as you went on your edge of glory, yes, you have all been practicing your dance all week. That edge of glory there, that 68.12.30, the December candle, as we were up here for the better part of an hour and a half. Chances to get into the 67.65, 67.60s were even better than $3. But who's counting? Because today I didn't even have to use my AK. In fact, I need to go and get that posted into the room, because today was a good day. And as guys were playing that 67.90, 67.95 up above to the problem at the end of the day, doesn't really matter, because for the less than $2 an hour that I provide as much as you want from me during market hours, considering I started the day at 1 o'clock in the morning. Where are we here? Here we are. Rick, I mean, the limits are limitless once you have applied yourself. And again, use him as an example many, many times. But he started this account challenge back on Labor Day, 100K, 2.9 million. Oh, sorry, not Labor Day, October 20th. October 20th to December 17th. 85% is all spreads. The rest are singles, all risk management. So, again, you know, it's not that difficult, but you know that everybody yesterday was looking at it going, oh, the market's crashing, and they bought puts for today, and, well, this is the way they woke up in the morning, which is kind of like what I mentioned in the earlier video this morning about why some people should never have had that happen to them. And I know, at least from the knowledge I have, nobody was short going into today, because we knew already, you know, getting that minus 1% algo bounce to the upside. You had your pivots, 67.64, 67.90, 68.12, and where did you go? Where did you go? You went exactly right there. Why? Because it's a video game, people. There's nothing real whatsoever about the stock market. Nothing. And the sooner that you get that sorted and into your head, the easier it is for you to be able to not only make trading decisions, but to be able to forecast and see where you're going, not where you've been. Because where you've been, everybody already knows. But we'll go have a look over there, because it was a very big day over there on the NASDAQ. QQQ with a massive gap up overnight. Almost 10-point gap up. And where'd you close? Closed right below that 609.79. Closed green. Don't get me wrong. We knew that. But all because Micron saved the world. Saved the world. You were up here better than a 12-point day coming off the lows of yesterday. looking over there at your VIX, and, well, no, this being the Dow Jones sitting here going, hey, guys, is the market actually open? Because, I mean, we don't know. We've been on autopilot for the better part of 9 months now. Over here on your IWM, and is that the band? Is that the band starting to play over there on the rooftop deck? Because IWM 8 green months in a row? I don't think so. And here you go with your VIX. Your VIX coming down and playing tiddlywinks with the 18 that we knew that we were going to get, coming back down to your 1622 as you go into quadruple witching OPEX tomorrow. And for those of you who do have quadruple witching OPEX options for tomorrow, I damn sure hope that you have the weekly, because if you don't have the weekly and you have the AM, you're going to find yourself pretty foobar come tomorrow morning, because you've got the Bank of Japan doing their interest rates decision tonight. We will actually go and take a look at that, which I can pull up on the Micron chart. Give me 1 second here. Boom, because I like this much better. And yeah, just from a killer point of view, and Barbara, I know you're already banging it. I want you to see here, you closed at 248.55. You're down here fractionally below 248 at the moment. And this is the reason why I was able to give you that alert over there in the room. As you look over here and you see your weekly wicks. Your weekly wicks are all above 248. So that move up today and playing the gap, or playing the puts to the downside, whether it was short term or you've got a bigger, broader view of yourself, it's 5 o'clock in the fucking morning and I cannot fucking talk. Micron was an easy play. So again, leave you here with looking at the Nikkei, because you have your interest rate decision coming out today. We will remove the open interest because that is unnecessary. And we will zoom it on in here to the last 20 days, 30 minutes. And you can see down below the 50-day moving average, very much like everybody else, but still hovering above the November lows. Much lower than everybody else, much lower than the NASDAQ. Almost similar to the NASDAQ. But your yen carry forward trade is going to be considered tonight, as well as the pain that is starting to settle in on Bitcoin, and the reality that whether you like it or you don't like it, Bitcoin is heading down into the 70,000s. When it is in the 70,000s, the question about the amount of margin calls and bankruptcy filings that are going to be taking place is whether or not you get down to 48,000. So enjoy yourselves on Thursday, enjoy yourselves on Friday, and advance happy holidays, belated happy holidays to every single member, person, human being out there on the planet. I wish you nothing but the best.
Hey, look, I'm dancing.